Reporters are not sociologists or social scientists. Sometimes when reporters do a story, they want to connect the dots. Reporters have all these people in their Rolodex. They know exactly who's going to say what. And if the source is smart, they kind of know where they fit in the scheme of things. So when the reporter calls up, says, "Oh, what do you think about this pattern of violence and crime?" And they're either going to say, "Oh yeah, I don't like that," or else, "Oh, it doesn't exist." That's what the New Yorker magazine did to yours truly a couple months ago. They did a big story about how Trump is inspiring all these nasty white people to say how much they don't like affirmative action, racial quotas, and racial violence. So they shoehorned me into the article, and they quoted this professor from a small college in New York. I think his name was Mike King. He said, "Oh yeah, that was a hoax. Colin had Fox News eating out of the palm of his hand. It was all a big hoax. Because I checked. I didn't find one single example of the knockout game." So in the stories I do, every once in a while we would bring in Marlon Newburn, or we bring in somebody else, like a cop or somebody. There's so many cops on this channel. So many cops. We don't even know they're cops. But every once in a while, we bring in somebody like that, and they say, "Yeah, Colin, it's a lot worse than anything you see here." But we don't really play that game. I just like stringing these things together and going, "What the hell's happening out there?" So you know what that means? That means you are the sociologist. You have to give it meaning. You have to tell me if this is normal. So here's, I don't even count them, 4, 5, 6 stories in the news the last couple of hours. Very, very nasty business, black on white crime, people dying, people almost dying, people maybe who wish they were dead. And this has no meaning. We have a new name. We have a new name for that theory. It's called the big coincidence theory. All this black on white crime, so wildly out of proportion, all over the country, is just one big coincidence.
A man is beaten until he's unconscious, but that didn't stop the attack. Only on WDRB News tonight, Stefan Johnson tells us police have now arrested 2 suspects, but need help finding a third. Stefan.
Well, David, police say that third suspect was actually kicking the man in the head while he was unconscious on the ground. One man is in jail but refuses to identify the third suspect in the attack. This is video of the disturbing New Year's Day attack at the White Castle on Bardstown Road in Hikes Lane. The victim is on the ground being stomped by 2 men.
He was laying there on his back and just kind of nothing. There was just blood all over his face.
Emily Gelhausen is the victim's girlfriend and says the attack nearly killed 29-year-old Vadim Tolstick.
He lost such a large amount of blood in his brain. They did emergency surgery. If they wouldn't have done that surgery, he definitely would have died because his brain would have swollen too much.
Gelhausen says they stopped at White Castle after a New Year's Eve party.
I was sitting in the car waiting for them to come out with the food, and he came to get me and said, Emily, Vadim's been in a fight. Vadim's down. He's not moving."
Police say after the attack, the suspects walked out of the restaurant and got into a car driven by Larice Miles, knowing officers were en route.
She knew the police were coming, and she's the one that left the scene with them.
Shortly after the attack, police arrested Miles and Rashawn Townsend, but the main suspect is still on the loose.
One punch, one kick, and he's done. I mean, he couldn't even defend himself.
Detective Mary King with LMPD 6th Division is investigating the case and hopes someone watching can help identify the missing suspect.
It's a life-changing assault.
She says the video starts with the suspects and victim inside the restaurant.
And then it shows the assault that occurred in the parking lot. It shows the punch that was thrown that knocked him out, and it shows the guy kicking him in the head.
Vadim survived the attack but is still recovering at a nursing home. That's why police in Gelhausen hope the third suspect is behind bars soon.
I'm hoping that it'll kind of put us at ease to know that who's responsible actually gets their payment.
Tim Harlan still bears the scars from the blade of a knife cutting across his cheek and nose.
I was just at the wrong place, the wrong time doing my job.
Tim was here on 18th Street in Akron, March 28th. He pulled over in his Humane Society van to make a call. Tim says that's when this man, McCullen Webb, randomly attacked him.
What I tried to do was slam my head up against this repeatedly, and then he started to try to hit me, but I had my arm up.
A vicious and a random attack haunting this young San Diego woman. She said the man started pummeling her when she told him that she didn't have a cigarette for him.
And a 10 News exclusive, reporter Jessica Chen is in Mira Mesa where it happened. And Jessica, her mom heard the screams.
Yeah, Lorraine Noel says she was just sitting on her car just like this. She was on the phone with her mom when she says a guy came up to her from the passenger side asking for a cigarette. She said no, and then he started attacking.
I just think he's dangerous, and I think they need to catch him. For sure.
It's still not easy for Lorraine Noel to think about. A Tuesday afternoon in her car turned violent.
It caught me so off guard.
The 39-year-old says she was on the phone with her mom when a man came up.
He had leaned into my car, so he must have been pretty tall.
He asked for a smoke. She said no.
Threw his entire soda into my vehicle, hit me in the face, soda went everywhere.
And then the attack.
What he tried to do was slam my head up against this repeatedly, and then he started to try to hit me, but I had my arm up.
She tried to fight back.
And I was finally able to get one leg, and I just kept kicking him.
And this whole time, her mom hearing her terrified screams.
And I could hear my mom screaming, hey, hey, are you okay, hey?
Noel says she thinks the man wanted more than a smoke or her purse, which was just sitting on her seat.
I don't know if you were trying to rape me, if you were trying to hurt me so you would knock me unconscious, because he was trying to knock my head really hard.
The most surprising thing, Noel says, it happened on this quiet Mira Mesa street near Black Mountain and Maya Linda Road around noon. Police say they're now looking for the guy, but she's still shaken up.
As a woman, I just think we should be more cognizant of our surroundings. If something doesn't feel right, we should definitely listen to our gut with that.
Now, police say they do get cases of people getting attacked after someone approaches them asking for a cigarette. Their advice is to just be careful. And as for the suspect in this case, he's described as African American. In his early to mid-20s, he was last seen wearing all black with white shoes. In Mira Mesa, Jessica Chen, 10 News.
10, attacked as he walked home from work downtown. A man survives a stabbing and robbery. Todd Light even managed to hold on to the man who attacked him.
He also had the help of a good Samaritan. Eyewitness News reporter John Garcia live downtown with more on this tonight.
Homicide investigation is underway after a deadly attack in Lancaster last weekend. Police are now looking for the man they say assaulted another man, which led to his death.
Fox 43's Kara Duffy is live at the Lancaster police station this morning with more on the incident and what we know about the suspect. Kara.
Yeah, Lancaster police say that this was not a random act of violence. It started as a verbal confrontation and ended with one man dead, the other still on the run. Now, police say that they're now looking for their suspect, 22-year-old DeJour James. They identified him after seeing a cell phone video recorded by a witness at the scene. In that video, you can see James assaulting the man. He strikes the victim's face while holding a beer can, then drags him across the ground, striking him several more times.